right back in about 1968, a club was formed called the Adventurers Club. Got on a boat, being adventurers, went up and down the river a couple of times, saw this place here, which back in those days was called the Women's Rowing Club, I think it was called, something like that. So the Adventurers Club decided this would be the place for them. They came along, started doing their Adventurers Club thing. They like to have alcohol, but they kept on running foul of the authorities in terms of selling alcohol. And so they figured that if they had lots of different clubs, they'd be able to have a liquor license for each of those. One such club that was part of that strange arrangement was the Brisbane Jazz Club. So the actual Brisbane Jazz Club as we know it now began to develop. The Brisbane Jazz Club's always been a volunteer-run club, and even back in the Adventurers Club days it was a volunteer thing as well. It's not a bunch of people who are being paid by the hour who just want to get home and do something different. It's people who are really caring about the place and really want to make sure that they give to it.
I came across the place, came across the jazz club because when I first arrived in Brisbane, which was 2010, and I just googled jazz club, open mic, found the jazz club and came here to the Singers Jam Night. I sang a song, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. And after it, a couple of people came up to me who became my friends afterwards, and then I just kept coming regularly.
COVID put a real damper on it. There was like a 5-year chunk there where there was not a lot happening at all live music wise. We were lucky enough to manage to reopen pretty early into COVID. I think it was only 4 months we were shut. We stuck really tightly to all the like space restrictions, cut our capacity down, and we did table service, so we managed to get some music happening. But a lot of venues like in the Valley and stuff, it was just not feasible for them to stay open. So there was nowhere for bands to play for like 5 years.
Other ups and downs, I couldn't escape that question without mentioning floods. There have been 3 in the many years that I've been with the club. The river starts coming up and up and up, and you watch it and you think this is going to come inside, and then there's all sorts of things floating around in the water you wouldn't want to get involved with.
I had to put in all new floors, replace a bunch of the walls. Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, a ton of the folks that are part of the jazz club community all pitched in, donations, time, labor, and we managed to put the place back together.
So there's all these people who care enough about the place to want to give up their Thursday, Friday, Saturday night to come along and help to get people seated at tables and clear the tables with bottles and just become part of it.
This is still a new city, a new country for me. I don't feel really integrated, but I'm integrated here at the club in a small way. And the fact that it's my social life, I've got friends here, I can meet people here. I'll just keep coming as long as I can stagger out of my flat at night. Yes.
The jazz club is still, it's certainly I would say the most important venue, you know what I mean, or institution, we have here in Brisbane for jazz, in a sense, For me, it's a very special place. I remember 20 years ago, maybe, was like my dream, It's like, whoa, one day you get wow, imagine getting a gig at the jazz club,
So the types of shows, we have a musical director.
And he locates musicians, he contracts with them, and obviously the committee has some input to the sort of acts that we want to see here.
Occasionally they engage people to come from Sydney or Melbourne, or even people from abroad who are doing a tour might stop here. I think my first gig there was maybe 15 years ago, something like that, or 18 years ago. And it was really special, I was, I was super nervous, I was very excited. But there is this thing which I think is amazing at the Jazz Club, is
please, if you have your mobile phone, turn it off. If you want to talk with your friends and blah, that's cool. Just go outside. So it's a listening environment. It's like a theater. Which is wonderful. It's really cool. So there's I love it. It's a special place for me.
This song is called "I Love Being Here with You" by Miss Ernestine Anderson. Enjoy. I love the East, I love the West, the North and South, they are the best. There's one thing that I guess is I love being here with you. I love the wine, fine cuisine. I love your eyes if you know what I mean. Baby, baby, when you hit the scene, I love being here with you. Singing in the shower, hour after hour. Life is such a crazy game. You know how to play it, you know how to sing. I love the way you say my name. I love the wine, fine cuisine. I love your eyes, if you know what I mean. Baby, baby, when you hit the scene, I love being here with you. I've always respected jazz, and like I said, that was my breadwinner for years. When I thought that I was a jazz singer, and I was singing in Singapore, and I was always singing like with my band and singing pop music and stuff, and I went to this jazz gig, and this girl was singing, and I just loved the way she could just go and stand on stage and just croon a little bit, and then somebody's going to play a solo, and then somebody did that, and I thought that was amazing. I just thought, I want to do that.
For me, it was like a search for identity. I used to play a bit of guitar, but more like the classic rock and pop stuff. And then one day, my girlfriend went to Camden Town markets, these famous markets in London, and brought home this like a cassette tape of bossa nova music. And I listened to that. I was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And I grew up in Italy, so I never really had heard that kind of music, and I fell in love with that. Like from the mass, from a mass consumption perspective, the majority of the population, they don't really understand jazz, as we evolved, I think in the last, few decades, music has become simpler and simpler, simpler harmonies, simpler melodies. So the complexities that sometimes jazz brings can be a sort of a barrier for the untrained ear, for people that haven't had the opportunity, of I guess, an education or just be able to listen to it,
I think that the uniqueness comes from the element of the unknown. So academically, it's called improvisation. The way that music is created in the moment, rather than a composer writes and then we play what the composer wants. We do it in a sense where we play what the composer's written, and then we want to tell our story about how this music feels to us and how it feels to the audience.
It's an appreciation to be able to understand that it's okay to improvise with music, and it still turns out to be 100% awesome.
Yeah, it's addictive. Yeah, that's the only thing I can say. It's like you have to be in a moment. You know, if you start like thinking about what am I gonna have for dinner, you're most likely gonna make a mistake. You know, so it's like survival mode. You know, you're aware, you're in the moment, but at the same time, it's like this connection with the audience, with your bandmates. It's pretty unique. You know,
Jazz is, for me, and from what I know of the history of jazz, it's always been a music that's appreciated in a live situation where people can see the art form being created on the spot.
You can sit and listen to pull something up on Spotify all day, but it's coming live with it is just a whole different ballgame. Because you never know what those musicians are you never know what they're going to do.
With music that's played in a live situation and improvisation and group cohesiveness, that allows the audience to really become a part of the art, the performance, the night, whatever it is.
Bigger audiences mean that we get more money into the club, so it's meant we've had a bit of extra money there as well. We've been able to do a few more things to get particularly younger people involved in jazz and giving them some opportunities to perform on our stage and help to launch their careers in jazz.
year 7, 8 and 9, that was probably the years where I was really starting to listen to jazz and to really start, probably I wouldn't even say understanding it, but just like, it's like not understanding it, but understanding it from a listening point of view, like being able to listen to it. Because what I hear from so many people about jazz, like they don't even care about, they might not even care about jazz, but like one of the first things they say is, man, it's just, this isn't real music. When to me, jazz really is like the rawest form of music. I feel like a lot of people know that jazz exists, but a lot of them just haven't, I guess, taken the time to actually see what's there.
Lester Young, Coleman Hawkins, Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Miles Davis, Sonny Rollins, John Coltrane, Wayne Shorter. All of these musicians are considered to be jazz musicians in the tradition, but they're also considered to be innovators in the tradition. So a lot of the times people can get stuck in playing this music as a museum piece and focusing on different eras, and that's great, that's really good. But the tradition of this music is to keep pushing the envelope, even in the face of critics and public audience.
So the very first time I was at the Brisbane Jazz Club, I think was in 2022. It was really nice, you know, it was a very positive environment, you know. So I think what they've done, like as with working together, is probably one of the best things for students at the conservatorium. Especially some students that might be a bit sheepish or a bit anxious to really step out and like make their own gig. It's a nice transition. It's encouraging. It's really encouraging that there is like initiatives like that being put forward.
I think the jazz club will continue to get better and better. It's become more and more professional, better run, more organized.
And I think especially with all of the initiatives we're taking, like the new generation of jazz shows we're doing on Wednesdays that highlight JMI bands and conservatorium bands, and I think they're trying to get something on Wednesday nights for post-grad people, so once you get out of the school you've still got somewhere to play. It's like that's the thing, you're not going to get jazz musicians if there's nowhere to play jazz music.
So yeah, I mean, it'd really be cool. What would really be cool to see in 5 to 10 years is younger audience members listening to jazz. Because I feel like with a lot of like up and rising musicians, like maybe if they're in like still in high school, you know, like it's really beneficial to go watch live jazz.
Being there, you know what I mean? Seeing the jazz drummer having a solo and, you know, the loudness of a trumpet, you know, it's pretty intoxicating. And I think if more people have the chance to experience that, then the more jazz will survive, in a sense, you know.
Yeah, look, it's every time I'm there, there's an older audience, and those are the people that are actually keeping the Brisbane Jazz Club afloat, because it is, you know, non-for-profit. But it is also really nice. Like I felt on Friday night, it was a breath of fresh air to see young people in there watching. It just, like, this couple that was sitting right in front of me, they were younger, and they, you know, just had their eyes closed, and they were just checking it. They're not even, they had their eyes closed because they were feeling what I was doing and what the band was doing, and I really appreciate that as a younger winger. But I feel like there's a large appreciation for jazz, and if you don't get jazz, you just don't get it, and you just missed that train. But if you do get it, it's important to hop on board. Here we go. Let me take that route one more time. This song is called All of Me. All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Here's my lips, I'll never use them. Take my arms, I'll never use See you later. Yeah.